Welcome to the Premier League show here on Toffee TV. The England squad has been announced for the Qatar World Cup. Begins next week.
Wow.
I know.
That's the week after.
Weird, isn't it? The week after?
Well, Sunday. Sunday.
Like, yeah. All right, sorry, it's like 9 days away or something. It's not long now.
It's not long.
Till it begins. Which is, it is still dead weird, even though we've been used to it for a number of years, knowing it was going to happen.
Have you noticed?
Still feels weird.
There's like a couple of Christmas adverts that are also like Footy World Cup adverts. They're like merging the two together.
Yeah.
Seems a bit of a waste, doesn't it? But again, they're probably saving that advert.
Have you seen the Asda?
Yeah.
Christmas advert.
The elf one?
My niece worked on that.
I'm not sure I'm
I think it's brilliant.
I'm not sure I'm au fait with that.
Okay.
I'm just not.
Okay.
It's just,
I mean, it's just
a film that you've ripped out.
Yeah,
it's no Pandora. Don't like your
stepchild,
is it?
I was going to say it's no Pandora advert, but you know, it's as far as Christmas adverts go.
What about the John Lewis advert?
It's quite good. I don't think I've seen it.
It's a tearjerker. Very much a tear.
Oh well, they can do one then.
No, in a good way. It's not like
happy.
I'm going to buy me now. No, it is happy. It's a tear.
Okay.
I mean, all Christmas adverts are miserable though now. They're like miserable in there, but there's a poignant thing at the end of them. Like at the end,
that's
like
why I like the elf.
They all like save up for all this money, and then so someone can turn the centre eating on at the end or something.
Oh, okay. That's it. You know what we're giving out this Christmas? Water bottles, blankets. Hey, what a time to be alive. Anyway, back on to football. Apologies. Like I just said, the England squad has been announced. We were at Goodison on Saturday, where Everton were absolutely diabolical. Yeah. But one player who wasn't diabolical was James Maddison, who was playing for Leicester.
Well, he wouldn't because he wasn't playing for Everton.
Yeah, well, true, yeah. But there were still diabolical players playing for Leicester as well on Saturday. But no, James Maddison was had an excellent game on Saturday night. With two tremendous goals. Tielemans' goal was incredible. What a goal. And Harvey Barnes scored a cracker as well. But Maddison was excellent. Partly because Everton allowed him to be. Yeah. But he is a good footballer. He's tremendous. Playing out of his skin at the moment. And there was a lot of talk that he wasn't going to be in this squad. I'd done a overlap show the other day, and there was talks in the room, and I think Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville were like, he should go, but I don't think he will. Yeah. And even as far as up till yesterday morning, before the squad was announced, people were saying he wasn't going to be in it. But he is, and deservedly so. And he's what's happened because of his form and because Leicester haven't been great this season. All of that conversation started again of whether or not he's the best one that outside the top six who one of them could get. This is what they've had to say over on the playlist on 888 Sport.
I've never really rated or particularly liked James Maddison, but this season it's been sensational, hasn't it?
Remember, this season, someone can fact check this probably. I think he got 15 goals last season.
His goal scoring record's unbelievable.
15 goals.
I got to the end and I was doing the show. I was like, did he?
Yeah. So I was like, I didn't.
So he's been consistently doing his thing, and he does get overlooked in the England squad.
Do you think Maddison would get into or ultimately get the move to Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool?
More so maybe in Arsenal or Tottenham.
It feels very Arsenal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does feel like
Arsenal. What about Chelsea? I could see him at Chelsea.
I'd love that. But as of today, that's probably true. Yeah, as of today.
I think Potter would prefer to have someone like Maddison.
But you nurture Gallagher. And
I think Gallagher's great. I don't think you can
Maddison gets this free role for Leicester as well, which I don't think you have at a big club. He kind of floats in the 10, goes to the left, I don't even know what his best position is, Maddison.
I think he's a 10.
10.
I think a 10, yeah?
10, definitely. Yeah. Behind a striker.
He could play behind Aubameyang or a new look Chelsea.
No, I think so. I just don't feel that he's a very Chelsea player, but that's not.
For me, he's exactly what Tottenham would need, or Arsenal.
Tottenham really need a. But you say that at Arsenal, they've got Vieira and Odegaard. He's never going to.
No.
So does Maddison leave Leicester?
Yes.
And does he go to a team that, let's just say, does he go to a team that are in the Champions League?
Maybe not, because the fifth team and the sixth team could be Man
United,
United,
team
Spurs, or
Yes,
definitely.
There you go. Lots of James Maddison bigging up there, but he's playing well, isn't he, at the moment?
No, he well deserves it. It's the kind of, and I'm delighted that there's a couple of like ones like that in the squad. Him and Callum Wilson being the two who've gone on pure form, and that's the way it should be. And I know a lot of 90% of the squad is players that the manager has had around them for the last couple of years. And with there being zero preparation for this World Cup, you can understand that, tried and tested. But I think it's brilliant that there are a couple of, from an England point of view, a couple of ones where you go, you're in really good form at the moment. Can you just know what you did last week? Can you do it this week for us? And I think that's what should happen. I understand why that doesn't always happen in international football, but I do think for this World Cup, I think that's really good. Maddison deserves it. Now, when you think of like someone like what the numbers Jack Grealish is posting at the moment, and he's been excellent, and I think he's, there was talk he could have gone to Newcastle in the summer. I think he'll have bigger clubs knocking on the door this summer looking for him. And to be fair, he does strike me as a City kind of player as well. I don't think they'll go for him, but he does strike me as a City kind of player. He's technically really good. He's really comfortable on the ball. He's got a good idea of what he's trying to do. I think his football intelligence is quite good. He's just a really good player, and his numbers are great. So fair play to him. I think he's deserved it. I think actually also Gareth Southgate's been really clever here. He's kept probably a lot of people off his back by putting him in, because I think if he hadn't, I think straight away
there's questions then, isn't
you've
there?
got questions before you start, where people are like, oh, he's starting to listen, he's starting to take notice of what's actually going on. And when you think for a 26-man squad, you think, well, you've got to have one, haven't you? You've got to have one who's a bit of a wildcat, even though Maddison's not, deserves to be in there.
Was Tarkowski unlucky not to go?
Yeah, but he comes into the category of players that the manager already knows. Of because that's where people go, well, Cody's very lucky, and he's not, because he's been playing well for Everton, but at the same time he is centre backs. Maguire's the one who's lucky. Maguire's the one who's really shouldn't be in the squad, but the manager's like, I trust this fella, he's done the job for me before. Whereas Tarkowski plays in a position, what if he goes into it and he's not very good at international level? Do you know what I mean? At least that's
only because of the form. We've seen him, and he's been excellent, and that England do have issues there. It's going to be dead interesting, I think you're right. I think that no preparation. The games are finishing this weekend. England play like a week after some of the 8 days after some lads have finished playing the Premier League, which is unheard of in a World Cup. For a World Cup, so it's going to be really interesting. Are you subscribing to the fact that this could be Messi's World Cup because he's in such good form?
I hope so. I do hope so. I would love him to win a World Cup and put that'd be the exclamation mark. I'd love it, but we'll wait and see. Some really good. I mean, we'll be doing more World Cup stuff. Obviously,
but of course. But just going back, obviously, into the Premier League, Man City, had the late win over Fulham when I went behind, had a man sent off. Cancelo.
No, they were winning.
Sorry, Cancelo was sent off, wasn't he? And it looked like, Haaland had a goal disallowed, which there was some debate about whether he was offside or not, if only they had the AI thing. And it looked like Fulham had ground out a really great point, and then Man City get a penalty in the 94th minute. I know that you're not massively convinced this is a penalty.
It's not a penalty. It's not a penalty, is it? Just because your foot touches someone else's foot in the penalty box, does that make Kevin De Bruyne's a brilliant player, and his ball for the goal is sensational. But does that really, really make you go,
that's a penalty?
Yeah.
They got one the other week. I forgot who it's against, but Bernardo Silva got one, which was, in my opinion, he initiated the contact, which really shouldn't be allowed. Why I let him off that day was Haaland should have had one 5 minutes before, which was a penalty, and he didn't get. From a purely wanting City to do well kind of point of view, it was a great decision. Now, to be fair, Fulham have hung on in there, and to be undone like that is devastating.
It's just the way he does, he taps his ankle and he just does this big spin and platoon dive. No, I know, and you're saying it's the last minute and you've got what you wanted out of it, but it's not a pen. It's just not a pen. Let's be honest. It's just, if it had happened to another club, we'd be fuming about it. It just wasn't a pen, and Haaland actually got really lucky on the penalty. It was not a good penalty, and he got really lucky. But City still entered the game with something like 75% possession with 10 men. That's a little bit
It is.
But
It's a tremendous side, aren't they? Obviously, Arsenal over the weekend continued their excellent form. Good going to Chelsea and getting them. It was a big test, I thought, this one, because they have been doing the flat track bullying thing really well, Arsenal. And I looked at this one and thought, this will be a big test this for Arteta and for Arsenal. And they've gone there and won. And Chelsea, who questions are already out over Graham Potter, which I think, for me personally, I'm not a Chelsea fan. I don't know how they feel. But just being an outsider looking at it, isn't it too early?
But do you know what's interesting though about this is the wheels started coming off for Tuchel last season for exactly the same reason. Lost his wing backs. Lost both of his wing backs who are going to both be out. Who are obviously both out the World Cup. He's lost both of those wing backs, and that's exactly where it went wrong last season for Tuchel, not having Reece James on one. You know.
But shouldn't he be given just right now? Shouldn't there be like a little bit of leeway? Because honestly, I was again just on that overlap thing the other day. It was like Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher were like, yeah, but he's at Chelsea, so he should be under pressure. And if if they don't get a win soon, I'm just like, since when did 7 and 8 weeks start becoming when you judge managers? He's not a prime minister, is he? You know, 40 odd days and then you're out.
I think once this weekend's over, everything's going to
calm down
anyway. So it's not really, you know, I'm sure you'll get them, if they get a win this weekend, they'll be fine. But Arsenal now, that's, you know,
it's a great win.
They've beaten, you know, everyone there. You know, okay, got beat at Old Trafford and they're yet to play City because the game has had to be rearranged. But they've beaten everyone up there now. And
beat Liverpool, didn't he? Beat Liverpool, they beat Chelsea, they beat Tottenham. So they're in tremendous form. And for them, this break, I don't. I mean, I asked Robbie this the other day. He was like, "Is this break coming at the wrong time for you?" And he was like, "I can understand why you're asking it because we're flying." But he was like, "We haven't got any squad depth really. We've got no squad depth. So if it might help us like refresh. We're not having loads at the World Cup, whatever. But I just think when a team's in that good a rhythm, sometimes a break might come at the wrong time. Yeah, but they've done. It was a brilliant win for them. And you're right, Chelsea have got to pick themselves back up and get into the break. And I guess for Potter, for what he wants to get across, that break will be all right for them. Liverpool had a huge win at Spurs. And for Tottenham,
Tottenham's
the
team,
criticism's out again.
The Tottenham team was weak though, very weak side they put out. Obviously no Son, no Richarlison in the forward positions. Kulusevski coming back. It was weak, and defensively they looked under threat straight away.
Game at 2 hours though, really.
Well, first half
they
just looked terrified of Liverpool, and Liverpool got the 2 goals, and they looked terrified. And then in the second half they took over, got a goal, and bit like the Newcastle game, just couldn't go and get that second one because they're lacking that little bit of firepower.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do anything in the transfer market in January. It's hard because they have got good players in those forward positions, haven't they? You're looking at that. Newcastle, strong again. Yeah. Very strong again.
Big win
for
Southampton, which obviously
Big Ralphie's job.
Ralphie's gone.
4-1 win.
Wrecked it, Ralph.
It was mad this game, though, when you look at the stats. And Newcastle had 6 attempts at goal, and Southampton had.
Why do you need more if you score 4?
No,
you know
it's
I mean?
very economic. Leicester done
economical. That's
it's really good. But Newcastle, what they're doing really well is right now they defend them well, and when they get the opportunity, they're taking the chances.
They've got a really good balance about them. They've got a really good balance, and they are efficient, and that kind of efficiency can get you to, you know, the outsides, the 7th place maybe, and do well in the cup competitions. So, and there's a real confidence there. So about the World Cup coming at the wrong time, it's coming at the wrong time for them probably.
Yeah, they're in good momentum, aren't they?
You know, so.
And other teams aren't at the moment.
Yeah. So you look at it and think, this may have come at the wrong time for them. But listen, they're on 27 points.
Brilliant.
In terms of hitting your first marker, which is, you know, making sure you stay in the Premier League, they're gonna get that no problem.
Oh God, yeah.
And then you go on from there.
I wonder if where they are and how strong they are at the moment in the position, I wonder if that'll dictate what they do in January. Will he gamble a little bit and go, tell you what, we could actually get into... I don't believe Champions League.
Comes down to FFP, doesn't it, I think?
But the FFP thing will be important, of course. But
They've got Chelsea this weekend, though, at home. That is a marker.
Mm.
That's a big marker for them, for both of those clubs, actually. And that's going to really tell us where they are. But Newcastle, just on buying players, FFP will be the issue because anyone they go for in January will be £10 million more than it will be in the summer. And with Dan Ashworth there, he might be thinking, let's walk before we can run.
They're better off. Don't do what Everton did, and you should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the general rule of life, isn't it?
The general rule. Other games, obviously, from the weekend. Bournemouth beating 4-3 at Leeds.
Yeah, 3-1 up.
3-1 up.
And actually, in the first half, they probably should have been about 4-0 up.
I spoke to, again, at the thing the other day, a Leeds fan, and he was just like, I'm just not having Jesse Marsh. And he was like, it was great. He said, don't get me wrong, tremendous. We come back brilliantly. I think the crowd pulled them through the game. Leeds are good at getting momentum, and at Ellen Road, when they get momentum, a bit like Everton nearly sometimes, when you get that momentum at that places like Ellen Road, Goodison and that, it can turn the game, and I think that's what happened. But he said Bournemouth should have been 4 or 5-0 up at half time. We would have been out of sight. We would have had no chance of recovering from that. So I thought that was that was interesting. But he has got 2 big wins, hasn't he, Jesse Marsh, on the run. One at Anfield. I've said it a number of times. I watched the Academy on Prime about Leeds Academy, and Chrysenio Somerville's in that, and Sam Goodall, who also scored at the weekends, in that. And it's dead interesting. It's really good, actually. It's really good. Give it a watch if you've got Prime. The Academy about Leeds, the young players, dead interesting. I love all of that kind of stuff. But it's really good to see those 2 lads who were like on the fringes last season of getting the opportunity, and it's great to see young players doing
that is really good. When you've seen players who've come through the ranks, you can really get behind them. They've got Tottenham away this weekend, Leeds, so that's a big game for both of those as well, because Leeds, they've had a couple of really good wins. Obviously, they went to Anfield, and people didn't think they could win there, and they did get a win, went home 3-1 behind. So the feel-good factor will be massive, then confidence. Tottenham need a win.
They need a win.
Listen, they got beat last weekend, but they did win the week before, and they are in the, I think it's still 4th, are they?
No, but it's...
No, I know they do need a win. What I mean is, it's not, they're not, it's not end of the way. They went out the Carabao Cup, obviously, so they have got their issues. I think actually the break comes at the right time for Spurs. So that'll be a decent game at the weekend.
Forest and Brentford, 2-2. The City can have Forest just knocking the all points on, aren't they? But I think they'll be disappointed with that.
They'll be disappointed because I think the PGML have come back and said that they should have had a penalty. They've looked at it again, and it should have been a penalty. They got it wrong, which is a bit late now, isn't it? A bit late in the. And
means nothing, does it?
We've had this obviously, but this is something that needs to be sorted out dramatically.
Give you a little pat on. You're all right, though. You should have had a pen,
Do you want an apology?
Yeah, we'll just say sorry.
An apology?
This has got to stop, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's
For that,
pathetic.
it's supposed to be the best. I mean, it's not, but it's supposed to be the best league in the world. And it's not.
But it is the best league. No, hang on. I'll tell you what. Go and watch some other leagues. It is still the best league in the world in terms of...
It's all about levels, isn't it? We've recreated Scotland.
I don't think anywhere else is actually as
maybe
good.
Footy's just crap.
I think you're right.
What makes it even worse is when poor officials were continually seeing it. Continually seeing it.
You've got to get it right.
Absolutely. I'm watching again, another name drop. I'm watching the Wrexham documentary.
Is that really a name drop that you're watching something on telly?
I meant like...
You're sitting there watching it with Ryan Reynolds. Are you?
I'd like
that
to.
would be
He's great.
He's sitting in his full Deadpool outfit, and you're like, pass the popcorn.
No, I'd want to look at his face.
That's not in his contract. Not in his contract.
I love him. But no, even in that, you're seeing some decisions. I mean, like, there's the one, you'll remember it. This is massively off topic, I apologise. There's the one where Mullen gets elbows the lad in the face, and the referee just sends off a random player.
Hang on, he's not even the same colour.
He's not the same colour. He's not even by the incident. And he goes over to the fella. The lad says, he said to me, do you jump with your arms? Asked him a question and sent off. He wasn't even anywhere near it. And Mullen's like, hell, you know, because he's a scouser. If anyone, it should have been me. I'm the one who elbowed him and all, and it gets stingy.
Have you heard this line?
But it's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds was actually at the game.
I think, and you've got Phil Parkinson,
that
who's
was
hilarious, who's
hilarious,
going,
that.
there's nothing in it, there's nothing fucking in it. And when you see it again, there's a full elbow in it.
I mean,
But what I mean is, some of the referees, and that's at that level, but they're probably no worse than the ones who were refereeing Premier League football. I don't know.
They are worse. In general.
Scott Minto at Goodison last week wasn't great, was he? Let's be honest.
It's not good, like. But there shouldn't be any apologies, let's be honest.
No. But with VAR, should Nottingham Forest really be not getting the penalty?
No, it's VAR, isn't it?
You know, we talked about De Bruyne before, and you know, you can look and go, oh well, it's that thing again of like, if I initiate contact, we might clash and I might go down, but is it actually a
Seen
foul?
2 over the weekend there. Cancelo gets sent off. Trent Alexander-Arnold does exactly the same thing to a Tottenham player, and it's just seen as a shoulder to shoulder. Yeah. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I didn't think Cancelo should have been sent off. It's a penalty because but he shouldn't be sending off. And that's the problem with football right now, is that those 2 decisions, 2 different games, are looked at completely different, and then you'll get people going. And then there's one in the Forest, Brentford had a penalty, and the goalie brings the player down, and he's not sent off. Why? Because he made an attempt for the ball. Did he make an attempt for the ball, or did he make it look like he was making an attempt for the ball? So he knew he wouldn't get sent off, so double jeopardy. It's all these different rules are just my arse, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Brighton had a great win at Wolves this weekend. You know, they followed the win, obviously the win against Chelsea. You know, they haven't won that day other than the Zerbi, the goals, and then he's gone and won at Wolves as well.
And Wolves obviously had a play sent off as well for the double jeopardy and Dudar and all that. I mean, it wasn't double jeopardy because it wasn't a penalty, but last man and all that kind of, so, and obviously they've won it late on for a 3-2 win. Sound like it, but Wolves are getting a new manager at least, but they've got a few issues as well.
It's the goal. I know they ended up with 2 at the weekend, but they have struggled for goals as well, haven't they? So, but for Brighton, who couldn't score, have now got 7 in the last 2 games. So maybe it's a click for him, and his Sassuolo team did score a lot of goals. You know, with the formation and that he played. So interesting win there. What are the fixtures this weekend then? Because
let me just. Oh, you missed out.
You
missed out West Ham and Palace.
West Ham
Palace. The big one, wasn't it?
Oh,
big win for.
It was a huge
big win for Palace. That's 6 points since we beat them. So you know, that's a going West Ham. I mean, a lot of being a bit of Kitson and Moyes.
Moyes under pressure.
They got knocked out in the Carabao Cup as well, didn't they? So on penalties. So good win for Palace and they're in the top half now. So that's an excellent win for them.
Good goal, right in injury time on Elise, who's obviously hugely talented.
So you got City, Brentford, Bournemouth, Everton, Liverpool, Southampton, Forest, Palace, Tottenham, Leeds, West Ham, Leicester, Newcastle, Chelsea, which is the R5 game. That'll be tasty. Wolves versus Arsenal, 7:15.
Get in.
And then on Sunday, Brighton, Villa, Fulham, Manchester United. Fulham and United will be a good game.
It will be a good game. It's a tough place to go, obviously. United, obviously in the Carabao Cup this week, had a good win over Villa 4-2. But it'll be a tough game that for them. Going there, and that's obviously the last game before the Premier League before it breaks, isn't it? A nice, I mean, there's the one, there's the celebration for the break. So but obviously we'll be here doing World Cup stuff, of course we will, and all of that. So just join for that. Why wouldn't you? The league table, and that's just going to lash it on there quickly. I'm not even going to go through it. Arsenal still top.
The Arsenal top.
There you go.
And that's it.
And the other end, Forest the bottom.
Let's not look at the. Don't look at the bottom.
There you go.
I don't really want to.
Just there you go.
No, I don't really want to look at it.
It is what it is.
No,
right, we're going.
Check out the playlist over on 888 Sports YouTube channel. Drop them a comment. Get your, tell them what you think about James Maddison and Tarkowski not being in the World Cup squad. There you go.
See you later. Bye.